thugging, not for nothing, never catch me slipping. Pull up in spots we got to drop, they never paid attention. Know about the pissing, dirty project calls, conscious missing. Got people jumping on my line like I was going fishing. Bow to my sires. Past life flash right by us. Spike your food so you can't digest. I can't digress. Shining on vampires who can't process. The moon over campfires. We on the move, breaking rules. No, they can't tie us, can't buy us. Manila envelope deniers. Control times, haters still clocking. Got dirty Moors trying to resurrect the show for the real profit. They trying to get the profit like $1 and brackets. Game of tennis, nigga. I'm just here to make the racket. These crooked governments got royalties and cuffs, and all we got is nationality. Like art inside a gallery, so pardon my mentality. Bloodline stretching like an empire that's all the way from Barbary to Tartary. My mind's ecclesiastic, prophets show me proofs inside the circle 7. Asiatic, we not Negro, black or colored. Bone thugging, not for nothing, never catch me slipping. Pull up in spots we got to drop, they never paid attention. Know about the pissing, dirty project calls, conscious missing. Got people jumping on my line like I was going fishing. Back on my mission, packed up all my ammunition. Backed off all this competition, they don't got this kind of vision, no. These are the new days of our lives. All my time be ticking, copy by the minute. Got these chakras spinning.
7 in the quadrants, G between the compass squared, Samson between Boaz and Yoakum. Never scared, ships arrive in thousands. We are not alone the way some think. I think they are not us but clones. Looking up drones, staring back. Got track 5G phones, implants, check their heads and their backs. Adam's apple big, what kind of female is that? Eyes color change like a chameleon, plus underwave tracks. Wires sticking out, cyborg holes, Miss Frankenstein. No protection needed, self-lubricating vagina. So anthropomorphic, can go for more dick than he can give it. An android goes livid. Skynet is NSA, surveillance is global. Since refusal to be noble, Force creed is Constantinople. Force GMO, nanotech, air clouds. Sound weapons, heart attack guns for non-social distance crowds.
Canaanland, I'm a Moor. They swore up to this. They all know. There is no contract. I'm just downtown with this thing.
Bone thugging, not for nothing, never catch me slipping. Pull up in spots we got to drop, they never paid attention. Know about the pissing, dirty project calls, conscious missing. Got people jumping on my line like I was going fishing. Bow to my sires. Past life flash right by us. Spike your food so you can't digest. I can't digress. Shining on vampires who can't process. The moon over campfires. We on the move, breaking rules. No, they can't tie us, can't buy us. Manila envelope deniers. Control times, haters still clocking. Got dirty Moors trying to resurrect the show for the real profit. They trying to get the profit like $1 and brackets. Game of tennis, nigga. I'm just here to make the racket. These crooked governments got royalties and cuffs, and all we got is nationality. Like art inside a gallery, so pardon my mentality. Bloodline stretching like an empire that's all the way from Barbary to Tartary. My mind's ecclesiastic, prophets show me proofs inside the circle 7. Asiatic, we not Negro, black or colored. Bone thugging, not for nothing, never catch me slipping. Pull up in spots we got to drop, they never paid attention. Know about the pissing, dirty project calls, conscious missing. Got people jumping on my line like I was going fishing. Back on my mission, packed up all my ammunition. Backed off all this competition, they don't got this kind of vision, no. These are the new days of our lives. All my time be ticking, copy by the minute. Got these chakras spinning.
7 in the quadrants, G between the compass squared, Samson between Boaz and Yoakum. Never scared, ships arrive in thousands. We are not alone the way some think. I think they are not us but clones. Looking up drones, staring back. Got track 5G phones, implants, check their heads and their backs. Adam's apple big, what kind of female is that? Eyes color change like a chameleon, plus underwave tracks. Wires sticking out, cyborg holes, Miss Frankenstein. No protection needed, self-lubricating vagina. So anthropomorphic, can go for more dick than he can give it. An Android goes livid. Skynet is NSA, surveillance is global. Since refusal to be noble, force creed is Constantinople. Force GMO, nanotech, air clouds. Sound weapons, heart attack guns for non-social distance crowds.
Bone thugging, not for nothing, never catch me slipping. Pull up in spots we got the drop, they never paid attention. No about the pissing, dirty project calls, conscious missing. Got people jumping on my line like I was going fishing. Back on my mission, packed up all my ammunition, backed up all this competition. They don't got this kind of vision, no, no. These are the new days of our lives. All my time he ticking, copy by the minute. Got these chakras spinning.
Y'all have the open bars of 1938, though. Fucking thrown out on that amount.
This is what you need to know. Stuff you need to know, fellas. Ladies. Stuff you need to know.
Going nowhere.
Northgate. H2O flow. Chic, Canaanland, Moorish. Release fall. Shalon Davis. Salute. Hot house. Check it. They say they wanna learn, they only debate. Referencing the truth, trust me, they only sound great. Study nationality before you question my estate. I'm not a minority, why you so late? Majority rules, here comes the test fact. That's my hand in the form of a V on the chest. That's a womb that is blessed like a moon and a crest. Major forever, infinite mindset. Major from birth, that's a seed in process. I'm a Moor that is easy to digest. Competent, never Terranilius. That is my land, never vacant. Sacred traditions, petitions for what you're not Jamaican. Westmoreland to Portmore, everybody needs more. Big few please more. Following the apostle, we should read more. I see the unseen more, we more. That's a fact. Canaanland.
They say they want to learn, complain classes are too long. Don't want it on a phone call, energy too strong. Get it from the wrong source, now they way off course. Think they must be Muslim and give up on all sports. Should give up the red meat, must give up on all porks. Won't be yelling haram when the bottles are uncorked. Eating with the spoon, use forks for tuning. Eating humble pie, no ego ballooning.
Northgate. H2O flow. Chic, Canaanland, Moorish. Release fall. Shalon Davis. Salute. Hot house. Check it. They say they wanna learn, they only debate. Referencing the truth, trust me, they only sound great. Study nationality before you question my estate. I'm not a minority, why you so late? Majority rules, here comes the test fact. That's my hand in the form of a V on the chest. That's a womb that is blessed like a moon and a crest. Major forever, infinite mindset. Major from birth, that's a seed in process. I'm a Moor that is easy to digest. Competent, never Terranilius. That is my land, never vacant. Sacred traditions, petitions for what you're not Jamaican. Westmoreland to Portmore, everybody needs more. Big few please more. Following the apostle, we should read more. I see the unseen more, we more. That's a fact. Canaanland.
They say they want to learn, complain classes are too long. Don't want it on a phone call, energy too strong. Get it from the wrong source, now they way off course. Think they must be Muslim and give up on all sports. Should give up the red meat, must give up on all porks. Won't be yelling haram when the bottles are uncorked. Eating with the spoon, use forks for tuning. Eating humble pie, no ego ballooning. Samson 2 caterpillars, got 'em cocooning. As the full moon hung, spiral energy moving. Up through the crown chakra, energy shooting. And told me upload classes before live YouTubing. 16,000 subscribers, 20% consuming. 80% troll pretending to be tuned in. Comment on every video, pushing the thumbs down. We'll push the link when we live just like a clown. Pouring in the incompetence, always debating. Dissing Drew Ali but won't give their location. His image on the black banner, that's placation. Just get him out of here, Yusuf yells in frustration. We know they're playing games, we're not berating. Calling 911, scimitars penetrating. In defense of prophets and mothers abused. And newly awakened Moors, amused and confused. Go check the USAR timeline. He's not mentioning none of this stuff about, you know what I mean? Like, you could at least go back and check our stuff and see that, you know, we used to do stuff at the Garvey Center, and we used to say that we're black, and we used to say that we're African, and we used to, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then we made the transition to where we are now. These people don't talk about the past stuff that they did, because this is what you're going to find when you research them, right? You're going to find all the BS that they did, that they're trying to now come up and say that, oh, well, you know, we're the new whatever. Yeah, but you use fake counties to buy TVs and stuff. Like, you're somebody. Oh, you're somebody. So then they sent out this one about for all the doubters of USAR and people who think that USAR is fake and all that stuff, right? So we'll just put this one out there. Just since they don't read their own stuff, we'll read their stuff for them. Let's see how much United States Corporation recognizes these people that call themselves United States of America Republic. So this is from Office of Secretary of State, and keep in mind they made this public record, so nothing we found, nothing or whatever. They were the ones who put this out as proof that they are who they say they are. So United States of America Republic Corporation, an Indiana non-profit corporation, application for authority to conduct affairs in Illinois. Dear Mr. B, in response to the application for authority to conduct affairs in Illinois of the United States of America Republic Corporation, it's admitted that it's a corporation too in the paperwork, right? I thought it was a nation state. Right? An Indiana non-profit corporation, I regret to inform you that the application has been rejected for the following reasons. So the application for United States of America Republic has been rejected. Right? So their application to be what they say they are right now was rejected.
All right, wait, let's bring it back. Who the hell are they applying to?
Oh yeah. So we're going to put that on the record. They're applying to the Secretary of State, Jesse White.
So after they got declined, they still went on.
Yeah, they still went on and said that they're whoever they say they are, even though they got declined.
Wait. So you need permission to be your nation?
Yeah. You need permission from the Secretary of State. European Secretary of State to be a Moorish nation. You need permission from them.
Okay.
Alright?
Check it.
So do they have any ties internationally? Like did they call like Brazil or Ecuador to put them on?
I'm not even sure.
Remember, what do they call it? The United States.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Right?
Not America.
So now keep in mind, this is something that they're pushing. This is how you know that these people don't respect their people. They don't respect their people's minds. They don't respect themselves. They don't respect anything, right? Because the beginning of the letter tells you that they're denied. How are they now? How stupid do they think you are that they have incorporation papers that were denied, but they're going around still saying that they are who that they say they are? Under the guise of, well, we don't need permission from them to, so why do you even ask them for permission in the first place? If you don't need permission from them, so then why do you go to them in the first place?
Twice.
So why didn't they just put them on notice as opposed to ask?
Big difference.
But again, you're dealing with individuals. You're dealing with individuals who, you know, their track record is, you know, counties for for TVs or whatever. Right? Okay. You know what I mean? These people been counterfeit. It's not nothing new.
I mean,
They've been counterfeit. USAR is counterfeit.
Yeah. Jigga, if it was a counterfeit for blacks, well, okay, all right, you know what? Let's do that, you know? But for TV, like, come on, man.
Free TVs, yo.
Man, tell me to get in touch with me. I get them a free TV. You get them a free washer and dryer if you want. Just ask for it.
Ask the brother.
There. We have the counterfeit for
Using counterfeit and stuff like that. Who does that? Nobody uses counterfeit still. Some people use counterfeit still.
So they're counterfeiting the counterfeit.
Yeah.
Counterfeit the counterfeit. Right?
Yo, if you're going to go to prison and counterfeit for a house.
Yeah.
Car. You know what I'm saying? Like
Counterfeit for some
TV.
You got one room but 3
Man.
Sounds a little crackheaded.
You know what I'm saying? TV.
A little crackheaded.
Come on.
Just a bit.
I just David Chappelle crackhead. Dude.
Food, baby. Food.
Even counterfeit for food. Right?
TV.
I believe you call that food.
Right? Pursuant to the Act, non-for-profit corporations can be organized for any one of the number of, oh yeah, this is the part that they highlighted, right? So this is the part that they highlighted that they want to draw people's attention to. Forget the other 2 paragraphs ahead and the paragraph we're going to read after this, but this is what they focus on to try to prove that USAR is accepted as a nation state, right? Pursuant to the Act, non-for-profit corporations can be organized for any one of a number of enumerated purposes. The purpose of the corporation in question is stated as, this state government is invested with the powers and authority to create and enforce laws and impose taxes, include protection of lives and property by maintenance of a police force. The creation of a state government with the power and authority stated in the corporation's purpose clause is beyond the scope and authority of any not-for-profit corporation. Further, the purpose is not one of the enumerated purposes set forth in the Act. Second, the name of the corporation is not acceptable in the state of Illinois. Section 150.465 of the Illinois Administrative Code states, no name may falsely imply governmental affiliation. The name of your corporation is almost identical to the name of the country, which is United States of America. Moreover, the United States of America is a republic. Merely adding the word corporation onto the name of this country does not make it a country. Right?
All right.
So, these people are straight playing with people.
So themselves into the doorway, right?
Straight playing with people who's chasing after them as a nation state. Well,
You're the one that put this out himself?
huh? Yeah, they put that letter out. Like, they got that letter and then they put it out like, hey, we're recognized by the Secretary of State. You guys need to recognize that they recognize us.
I guess they didn't see that.
Decline the step.
The watermark.
A lot of words are like reading it like, question.
It's on. But what I want you to know is Taj Tariq Baniam is not a government. RV Bay Publications and Taj Tariq Baniam, they have no government, brother. They have no government. They're NGO.
United States of America Republic Charter. This state government is invested with the powers and authority to create and enforce laws and impose taxes, including the protection in lives and property by maintenance of a police force. Bow.
Number one, all governments are corporations. That's number one. But all governments are not attached to a natural people. Okay? Our government is a government created by natural people who have a flag as a nation of people that God created on earth. We're not corporate citizens. The United States citizen is a corporate citizen. It is a citizen that God did not create.
No, hold on a second. If Noble Drew Ali is the one who said what that flag is and what the colors mean and what the symbols on them mean, how is it that you're taking that and claiming that's yours? That's not yours. That belongs to the empire. Flag's already recognized. You're not going to take that and then make something new and say that, oh yeah, our thing is really what was supposed to be set up, because no, you're tying yourself to Noble Drew Ali. How come you're not addressing that you're using the flag Noble Drew Ali brought? So if you're using the flag that Noble Drew Ali brought, right, you're using the flag that Noble Drew Ali brought. Right? This is what we're trying to relay, that your own is playing you out of your birthright, because they don't have to do all this. They just get done with the program that's been going on for 100 years. So they want to do that. They want to do their own thing. And then Jack Drew Ali. Jack Drew Ali. He says President C. Cannon Bay, right? All right. Remember, they just jacked Noble Drew Ali's flag. Moorish head makes plans for conclave. Beginning October 15th and continuing through the entire week, the Moorish Science Temple of America, of which Mr. Drew Ali is the founder and president, will hold his first general conference at Unity Hall, 3140 Indiana Avenue, Chicago, Illinois. President Ali began definite plans to this end upon his return from Pine Bluff, Arkansas, where he spent several days lecturing at the local Moorish temple. The organization is playing a useful and definite part in advancing the sacred obligations of American citizenship. Now, how come Noble Drew Ali was a president? What is he president of? You think he's the president of some corporation? Or you think that's just another hat of the representative government? That ain't nobody else gonna do it, so who? Obviously, if he was the only one that had the brilliant idea to call himself president of the Moors in the 1920s, and nobody else had that except Garvey, who he was president, but that was the UNIA, so that doesn't even count. It's not even a nation. So that's plaintiff in error, dismissed. So the only president legitimate would be the one talking crazy in the 1920s. And then when they murdered your president, Moors, who call yourself Negro black colored today, you don't realize he was the one. Because one, they never told you about Noble Drew Ali, and two, they never told you that he was a president. So if Mr. President, somebody that, Mr. President, they don't call people of corporations Mr. President. They don't do that. A president of whatever else doesn't get called Mr. President. You need to call Mr. whatever his name is. Because president is a title of nobility. And he knew exactly what he was doing every step of the way. And he had them checkmated every move they made before they even made the move. Then they murdered him. And here come these sellouts trying to tell you that this is your president now. Make you abandon your prophet again. Just like all the other traitors. Just like all the other traitors. Just like all the other traitors. Oh yeah, you know what? Matter of fact. I know it was just up there. Should be up there still. Should be up there still. Because it's interesting. It's interesting how it's these same traitors. It's these same sellouts. All the sellouts who didn't want to give Noble Drew Ali his honors, but they're gonna push that they're reincarnation of him. How come they say reincarnation of Walter Brister? Why not reincarnation of Thomas Drew? Why didn't they reincarnate into Jesus or Muhammad or Buddha or somebody? Why did they reincarnated Noble Drew Ali? Dr. York wanted to be Noble Drew Ali. He called himself Mahdi. Fard called himself Mahdi. Kurtman called himself Mahdi. Aaron Payne called himself Mahdi. Everybody who was around him, everybody who was around Drew Ali, reincarnated. This is the temple when we went to Pittsburgh. It was these Moors who had us looking in the mailbox slot to see if anybody's inside the Moorish Science Temple. That their door's supposed to be wide open, anybody's supposed to be able to walk in there. No, they're inside. Doors locked. They're inside. Sitting there. Have Moors have to look through the mailbox slot in the door to see them inside doing nothing with the Moorish Science Temple. And Kudro's dirty. RV Bay's dirty. Asir's dirty. Aleem's dirty. That's who's dirty. Obashango's dirty. That's who's the bad Moors. But these people who rep these fake prophets, and there's a bunch more. You just look up reincarnated Noble Drew Ali. See how many people come up, claim to be him. Right. All of them. How Noble Drew Ali say, Moors, don't mark your fez, and you come out in a picture with a mark fez. How much respect do these people have, really? Like, how much respect do these people have? That they are posing like Noble Drew Ali instead of just giving Noble Drew Ali his honors. How about just give Drew Ali his honors? Why is it so hard to acknowledge him for all the great work that he did, that he never got any recognition for? Why can't you give him his honors? Why do you have to keep being reincarnated versions of him? I don't care what they call themselves. I don't care if they're in the holistic whatever, they're a reincarnated Noble Drew Ali, because he was the first to do that.
I don't care if they're the Egyptian, whatever, because they can't say that there's somebody before Drew Ali who was repping Egyptian adep and all that. Nobody was around our people talking about we're Muslims and all that. He brought a holy book for the people, and he brought headwear for them, and he brought all these different things for them. Brought a flag back for them. Now everybody has a flag. Those are reincarnated Noble Drew Alis, those fake flag flying people. Those are reincarnated Noble Drew Alis, because the first flag is the Moroccan flag, 10,000 years old. The hell are you talking about? What flag's older than that? What flag are you going to present that's older than that? It was some 1956 Morocco or whatever. Because how long has Venus been there? This is why we've gotten nowhere. Because of these wannabe Noble Drew Alis. Instead of them be themselves and give him his honors. Stop playing around with the man's legacy. Because obviously stuff is getting worse. Don't you see they have robot dogs chasing people? Stuff is worse already. Because of denying of him. There's robot dogs chasing people. You know that, right? You know jails have robots dishing out food and stuff like that. You worry about some tranny teaching your children? You know where stuff is right now? You know that thing that just bit your arm that wasn't a mosquito? That was a nanobite? You know that was a nanobite that bit you, right? You thought mosquitoes or whatever? If it's mosquitoes, how come you don't hear the buzzing in your ear? You ever notice you don't hear mosquitoes buzzing in your ear anymore? Where's that zzz, zzz, make you fan your ears? All you do is get bit now. That's all you do, get bit. Just get bit. Hell they biting. Where they coming from? Why they always at the feet? All because denial of him, Noble Drew Ali. Drew Ali told you he's the president. So how is this faker? How is this faker talking about he's the president? He's the president of a body of Moors. What are you talking about? How dare you play around? And all the traders happy that Noble Drew Ali's murdered. Happy. Right? Raided the treasury. On top of that, making side deals with Ashkenazis and Khazars to keep this stuff where it is right now, how you're looking at it. Like, the Moors? I don't want to be the Moors because the Moors get arrested. The Moors, the Moor means black. Moor. It's exactly what the plan was to have happen. 50 years happened, he'll be gone. Another 50 years will go, and you wouldn't even know who Noble Drew Ali is. That's right now. And then that's prophecy of Noble Drew Ali, let you know again he's the man. But you want to hear what Moors are saying. You want to hear what Moors are saying, so listen to these clowns who people listen to.
It is a person that God did not create.
State Corporation Commission, Office of the Clerk, Richmond, Virginia. The United States of America Republic is a de jure government of an autonomous nation of people. The Moorish American people are a nation of people created by God, and their natural standard state flag represents a natural people.
No, what natural people are you talking about? Because this is an application for a certificate of authority to transact business in Virginia as a foreign corporation. Why are you foreign if you're in your own land? Why are you foreign if you're in your own land? How are you a foreigner in your own land? Now they like to throw around this thing about, government and all this stuff, and they're not really letting you know what's going on. Right? What is government? There's online law dictionary. You don't have to go far. The regulation, restraint, supervision, or control which is exercised upon the individual members of an organized jural society by those invested with the supreme political authority for the good and welfare of the body politic, or the act of exercising supreme political power and control. That's part one. So House Resolution, once again, House Resolution 689 tells you that the Moorish Americans, being aboriginal to the territories of North, South, and Central Americas, have formed a sovereign theocratic government guided by the command principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, through virtue of the universal right to self-determination, as well as with the Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People guaranteed in this charter. The American Declaration of Rights of Indigenous People is going to tell you that self-identification as indigenous people will be a fundamental criterion for determining to whom this declaration applies. States shall respect the right to such self-identification as indigenous, whether individually or collectively, in keeping with the practices and institutions of each indigenous people. Guess what's not told? That your indigenous government is a theocracy. So don't be looking for the governmental office that you're going to walk into and shake the hand of the... No, you're in this government right now, going over all this governmental stuff that these dumbasses aren't going to teach you and let you know. That the whole international community is already riding on what Noble Drew Ali told us to do in the 20s. 2021, the whole international community already put their position on the record that they're riding with what Noble Drew Ali said. Negroes want to debate Moors. Negroes want to put a fez on and start calling themselves president. They just came from running counterfeit. They just came out from running counterfeit. Now they're the president of something. And then they're going to go file lawsuits, and they're filing civil rights lawsuits. And we're the dirty Moors? We're the ones that's dirty. Who we ride with are the dirty Moors? Yeah, right. Yeah, right. We know that our government's theocracy. So we know that's guided by Allah. I ain't having nothing to do with some office of some whatever. What the hell are you talking about? What's your nationality? Moorish American. Obviously you're part of the nation. Ain't nothing to talk about. You know, debate about where you get whatever from. And no, that's Juali said, what's your Moorish American? What's your nationality? Moorish American. What's his? Moorish American. What's our flag? What's our this? What's our that? He's saying our and not including himself? He's talking about we have a flag, it's a red flag and all that stuff, but he's not talking about himself. So if he's talking about himself, if he's putting himself in it like that, then who nationalized him? Who told him he's Moorish American? Who told him? He's telling us and he said who he is, but who told him? That's who we want to know. Or is this a theocracy where it's guided by Allah? It doesn't even matter who told him. Point is that he told your ass. Did you take heed to the message? Or are you listening to some people over here calling themselves president when you have your own president, Noble Drew Ali, and you haven't even read a speech from that president to see if, well, let's just see what he's saying. Like, they say presidents, and then everybody puts up their hand and they name somebody. Okay, we put up our hand, we name Noble Drew Ali, President Noble Drew Ali. We want to hear some stuff about him. And everybody's looking around. Nobody has nothing to say. Is it President Washington? Oh yeah, they're going to go into fast forward. We'll think, we'll pick this one. President of some corporation. Oh yeah, he went to the Ivy School of the whatever and all that. President Noble Drew Ali? Nothing. Nothing? So we'll arrive with that president. Because when we check the record, we realize that the whole international community is riding with what Noble Drew Ali said. How come none of these Moors are telling you about American Declaration of Rights of Indigenous People? How come they're telling you about packages and stuff like that? How come they just tell you to go read the rights that are right there? These are all the rights that you have if you're making claims. These are your rights. Now that you know, what are you gonna do with them? What are you gonna do with the rights now? Now that you know that they exist. And they've been there. And Drew Ali's the only one that gave you a nationality, which all these declarations from the international community are requesting and suggesting that people should have one of those if they're gonna be making claims. At least have that. You have a right to that. And nobody can deprive you of that. So why wouldn't you have one? Why would you be stateless? Like, nobody can't deprive you of it, then why would no one could deprive you of picking up the $1 million, but you're just walking by it and you're complaining about your rent to pay and what am I gonna do? And $1 million at your feet. Just getting into the side of insanity now. Because he himself said, I brought you everything it takes to save a nation. Now take it and save yourself. You think you have no responsibility? Oh, you think because he was whatever and then he did this, that means that, or it's because of that, or it's nothing to do with you, huh? Well, you're not the problem. It's always some external thing, never within, huh? Well, how'd the fighting start? within, that they will happen. The Europeans just pick up what's left over. And there was a lot left over. It wasn't like, you know what I mean? Because we're idiots. We're going to fight each other instead of just get in line. Why are you trying to be somebody who you're not? Just let Drew Ali be. Just let him be. You don't need your version of whatever you think you're doing. No, Drew Ali brought that already. You know what everything means? If he brought you everything it takes to save a nation, why do you think you don't have everything that you need to? What do you mean some guy over here is going to come and bring you something? And then they're going to rope in some dumb people and then have dumb people coming out here causing more confusion. Because once you stick with what Drew Ali laid down, the frequency will direct you where you're supposed to go. You don't have to check anything. You just stumbling over stuff. Like, I was just thinking about this. Thing happened. That's how in tune it is about being when you say nationality and we're Moors and all that. I'll just try to join up to something that people are involved in, playing themselves. Right? Remember, we're talking about what is government. Right? 2, the system of polity in a state, that form of fundamental rules and principles by which a nation or state is governed, or by which individual members of a body politic are to regulate their social actions, a constitution either written or unwritten, by which the rights and duties of citizens and public officers are prescribed and defined as a monarchical government, a republican government, etc. Webster. 3. An empire, kingdom, state, or independent political community, as in the phrase compacts between independent governments. So if Drew Ali told you about the presidents, right? That he's the president. And then to all governors, grand sheikhs, and head officials of temples, by order of Prophet Noble Drew Ali, has said the following thing during our first convention. Prophet Noble Drew Ali said that the Moorish Science Temple of America was organized to play a useful and defining part in the advancement of the sacred obligation of American citizenship, as the Moorish Divine National Movement was founded for the uniting of the Asiatic states of North America on May 1st, 1916, as this will have been our very first convention and most interesting one ever held in this city. How come you didn't say American states? How come you said Asiatic states? What is an Asiatic state? If he's in America talking about Asiatic states and talking about constitution and talking about he's the president, and then there's grand sheikhs and grand governors, and then those people over there who call themselves government, they have a governor and they have a president and they have a department of whatever. And then you look at yours and you have a manufacturing corporation and you have certain things. That would mean you had your own government. Being that you had your own government, because Drew Ali told you that you're an empire and extended from northeast, southwest Africa, across the great Atlantis, onto the present North, South, Central America, and the adjoining islands of Atlantis. So if you have an empire, and you have a president, and you have all these quote-unquote individual members of the body politic, and they are regulated based on their social actions, and their social actions is uplift fallen humanity, then what do you need these people coming up today telling you that they're the president? You just came yesterday. Juali was president since 1920s for the Moors. How are you somebody's president and nobody voted for you? Nobody vote for you to be the president of the Moors? And whoever voted for you, that's a colorable vote. Because clearly there's conspiracy going on. Because it's an apparent contradiction. And if people are following the contradiction, then obviously it's the people's, but it's not the contradiction. Contradiction is what it is. How are they calling themselves United States of America Republic when there's already something called that? That's for Europeans. And then Moors are going and filling out paperwork with them that they're the government, because it can't be these Europeans. So these guys who used to counterfeit for TVs are president? That's who your head is. Four, the sovereign or supreme power in a state or nation. Now, once again, the Moorish, is an empire. The Moorish, is a kingdom. The Moorish, is a state. Asiatic states, Noble Juali called it. It's also, on top of that, it's also an independent political community, which is every individual who calls themselves Moorish, American, which means that they're Moroccans. And then you have a flag, and it's 10,000 years old. And you have a president. And you have the right to self-determination, because it's not just that. You're also Aboriginal and Indigenous to the Americas. And when you really check, you're Aboriginal and Indigenous to the planet. And everywhere is your home. You think anywhere you go, they call you brother. What the hell do you think that means? That mean that you're family? Is that your brother? That means your family, right? So how come when every time we go everywhere, everybody calls us their brother? We don't do that here. We only call the brothers on the block brother. This is the African community, Kenyan, whatever their nationality is. But they would always see us say brother. Like, brother, that means we have the same mom. We don't. You're African. We're all part of the same empire. That's how we're brothers. And all of them know. That's why all of them wear fezzes and all that stuff. And when they see Moors with fezzes, they're bowing. When they see mothers with their turban on, with the pineal gland open, they opening doors for them and all that. Carry their bags. Leave their wife. Pale Arab guy left his wife to go help the mother with the bags. That's how much they want us to be back in our seat. Because they already know how it's going to go down. We don't got to worry about some Europeans or whatever like that. We need them for something. Everybody else is going to support it. Because they already know what's up. We're the last sleeping giant. All the other giants woke up already. They're ready. Look, Taliban even woke up. Took their stuff back. Right? The dominoes are falling. And everybody's waiting for these people in North America who they're everything else except who their ancient foremothers and forefathers were. But they're everything else. Anything else, they'll be that. When it's time for them to be their self that everybody's waiting for us to be, their self that has the fake government people putting out stuff saying Moorish Americans, and then people are going to say there's no such thing as Moors. They don't recognize the Moors. Well, why is Moorish American in their papers if they don't recognize who the Moors are? And if they recognize who the Moors are, then why you need these other people over here claiming that they're Moors, trying to tell you 500 and all this to get some papers? When national identity is mentality and character, nationality, being part of a nation, is identity, mentality, and character. It's not papers and cards and join some government or something like that. You're already a government because you're Aboriginal and Indigenous. You're your own government. You're the king of your castle. But don't forget we're matriarchal, so don't go nuts. When the king of the castle think you're somebody. You ain't nobody. No one. No mother, king of nothing. Just in case you started tripping. Just like these people start tripping and start calling themselves president and prophet and reincarnated noble Jew Ali. You're tripping. Stop tripping. That's why we know Jew Ali didn't come for the people back then. Because all those people should have got their neck wrung out. As soon as they pop up, grab them. All of them. But you're posing with pictures that say reincarnated noble Jew Ali on it. And people are really looking at it like, yeah, that's the prophet returned. What are you talking about? How drunk were you at the convention? You guys were drunk at the convention. These Moors had the Jack Daniels breath at the convention. Traitors. The mainframe forming questions of mentality and identity are in many respects identical. At the same time, mentality, due to its mostly symbolical and axiological nature, is capable to provide answers to these existential questions. Both national mentality and national identity, when answering these questions, appeal to the history of the nation, and this history is always connected with social memory of the nation. Social memory of the nation. Then you're going to read the stuff and is there social duties? So, no, Joe Ali was up to something. I think he was onto something. The social ties right back into government again, which are your obligations to your nation. The people haven't lived up to their obligations. That's why we don't have anything. If every Moor did what, for example, CMB did, I mean, and did it under unity. That, yeah, we know we're all Moors, but we're each in our own jurisdiction. I might not want to go all the way to Cleveland or whatever. So I get you, and we're going to do what we're doing where we're at over here. And honors to you over there for doing what, yeah, and how you doing this and that. Oh yeah, that's how y'all doing it? Well, yo, this is how we're doing it out here. You know, trade notes and we exist. We exist already. The plan's already laid down. Footprints are on the path. All we got to do is walk it. Because it's so much deeper than what people perceive, but at the same time, this is some simple stuff. This is really common sense, reason, and logic. It ain't nothing else. You don't need 50 million books. As soon as the light bulb goes off, it's time to be active in whatever it is that you're out of that. And you're doing it for the nation. Just like we showed the Moor yesterday, doing the graduation. And forget mortar board. I'm gonna go up, fezzes up. Not a mortar board if I have a fez at home. Not even a mortar board for. Oh yeah, only if I'm doing some masonry. I need that. Other than that, fezzes up. We're getting diploma or whatever. I did that for the nation. For the nation. Not for their selfish self so people could call them president and then them looking like somebody. You shouldn't be calling yourself damn president. If you're recognized by U.S. and all that stuff like that, why don't you just say what Noble Drew Ali brought and give everybody the stuff back? You want to be the man. You want to be the man. Drew Ali's the man. Just accept it. Don't get mad. Get mad and cause confusion. Are you mad like that? Are you mad? You mad at Noble Drew Ali being the man? Stop this. What the hell are you mad at? You jealous? Jealous of the prophet? You want to be the one that brought what? Everything. He brought everything it takes to save a nation. What does everything mean? What do you think you coming up with that Noble Drew Ali didn't think about and implement already? For the Moors, some way, shape, or form. What is it? What do you do? How smart are you? You're that smart? You're really that smart. You're smarter than the Egyptian adept student, for real? Oh, that was 1920s. He didn't have internet, so that means he didn't what? He couldn't research? So he couldn't research because there's no internet. Really? That's what you're repping? That's what you're repping. We have way more access to information. I guarantee they're more spiritual than we were now. I bet you that shit. I bet you they snap and make fire back then. Playing games. That's why you fail, because you have no honor in your ancestors. No respect for them. Like they were some dumb niggers like you or something. They weren't dumb niggers like you. They knew their timetables up to 100. The hell are you talking about? With no calculator. You this guy $5 can't get back proper change. Talking about your advance because you have some technological information age BS. Because with all this stuff, we got access to all this information, people still a dumbass. Imagine back then. Imagine back then. If these people are dumbass today, with internet and all that stuff, with information at their fingertips, you can find out anything. But nah. Forget get info. Forget knowledge. Honest to all the Moors worldwide. Watch out for these traitors. Be very mindful of these wannabe Noble Drew Alis who bring you nothing. They bring you nothing. They have a lot. They have a lot to show. You think it's diamonds and pearls? Not showing you jack. Study yourself. Study yourself. Study yourself, it'll be way easier to deal with others. And always remember, no matter what somebody brings, I don't care what they say they got for you, match it up to Noble Drew Ali just to see if they're not biting. Not just a copycat. Because more than likely they are. Because he did more than people even know. Peace and love to all the Moors worldwide. Honors to all the mothers. Anywhere you're at. Honors to all mothers. Supreme honors to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Supreme honors to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Peace and love. Islam.